Hey guys, so I just wanted to show you real quick how I would do a face swap for clients. Most of the time when you have little clients, I tend to overshoot, and I do that just to ensure I have an image where they are all looking at me or looking with a cute little face. So if you see these two images, the little baby is smiling and these other two, of course the older one is smiling, but these other two are looking off in different directions. I love the look of these two on this image, but I want to move the smiling baby onto that image so that I can ensure that the client has a great final product. So what I do is I select the background of the image of where the baby is. I right click, I hit duplicate layer, and I duplicate that layer into the other image that I want to put it in. So I'm taking image 9298 and sticking it into 9291. So I'm going to label that as baby face and say OK. So then I go to image 9291 and you'll see both layers are on the page now. What I need to do is line up these layers to ensure that we can transform without an issue. One of the images is a little bit bigger than the other, so I need to make sure that they are proportional for what we need it for. So as I'm pulling it in, I'm noticing that he's lining up right here. So you can see that. The older gentleman is not lined up so much. It's because he moved his head in the picture, but you can see that the middle child, his head is lining up. We really need this head to line up with this face and the edge of his shirt to somewhat line up. We can make adjustments to make it work, but this sort of lines up to what we need it to. So then I change the opacity back to 100 because I lowered the opacity in order to see the lower layer. I hit Control T to make the adjustment. I don't think I said that. So now I'm going to increase the opacity again. I'm going to add a layer mask to baby face layer. I'm going to use my brush, and then I'm going to use the black brush. So I hit X to change from white to black. The opacity I want it to be at 100%, and I'm going to use a soft brush, putting hardness about 16 in order to get as close as I can. I'm also going to invert the baby face layer mask in order to paint over the area I want to. So now the baby face layer is inverted. I'm going to change it back to white, and I did mess up this video, but it's okay, we'll keep going. So you see the layer mask is black and the brush is actually white. So we go into where the baby's face is at 100% opacity with the hardness, with a soft brush. So I'm going to paint over the baby's face, and I'm going to get as much as I can, and you see where the t-shirt is coming up, and that's okay, because what we're going to do is we are going to get even closer and correct that issue. Now that I've painted around his face, I have everything I want in that image. We've changed him to a grumpy baby to a happy baby. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit the X again, and I'm on a regular PC. I do not have a Mac. I hit X, and so the foreground is black again. I'm going to lower the size of the brush, and I'm going to lower the hardness. It's going to be about 76%. And then I'm going to come in and I'm going to get close to his face, and I'm going to brush as much as I can back on. We want it to kind of meld together, and that's coming out pretty good. I changed the hardness on the brush a little bit in order for it to kind of blend in a little bit more. So when you're doing this and you feel like it's not really meshing very well, you change the hardness of the brush in order to do a better job. So on this, it's not working out for me. I think I need to move him a bit. So I'm going to unlock the layers. So the layer mask and the actual background layer are not connected. I use the move tool to move his face just a tad to ensure that I can kind of line him up. So now he's lined up with the shirt a little bit better. So I'm going to lock it back up, and I'm going to go back to the layer mask, and I'm going to continue what I was doing. I need to harden the brush a bit so we can get the edge of his face a little bit more, because we did adjust him. I go back and forth between the white and the black brush in order to make the edge look really good. So you see how close I'm getting. I zoom in. I'm at 300%. So I go in here. I get as close as I can just to make it look normal. Because when they print this, you want it to look as beautiful as possible, as clean as possible. So I'm going into the little bitty details on the face and getting to the edge of that shirt. We don't want to meld it too much, but you get the idea. So as you can see, I'm switching back and forth between the white and the black brush just to ensure that everything kind of blends together. I'm going so close into this. This is a black brush right now. Okay, so we have his ear, but you see this little face? We need to fix that. So we go and we use the black brush to go there. It looks good right there. I'm going to soften my brush a little bit to ensure that I make this soft right here. Because this little area we can blend in because he has dark hair, you can't really tell. Okay, so as we zoom out, I look for any discrepancies. And the hair and the eyes, everything looks really, really great. So I go back and forth to show you what I've done. And if you can see right here when you go back and forth, you see there are some discrepancies. So I make a big brush, super soft brush, so hardness 0%. And I just go in and kind of brush around this area just to soften that edge a bit so it looks more blended. But there you have it. I have corrected the face. They're all looking at me and smiling, and now I will flatten the layers and go into my regular edits. Hope this helps. If you have any questions, let me know. Have a great day.